broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello traders, this is Dan from AITG. We're on our Monday webinar, 8 p.m. Eastern, just now getting started. We welcome all of you that are here. We have some AITG people here, myself, who's Dan. We have Gene here, we have Jimmy, we have Roger here this evening from AITG. We have some attendees. There may be some additional attendees that come in later. If so, all this will be recorded. So if you should miss part of it, you will be able to watch it. We do have a lot of videos on our website. So with that being said, I'm going to turn this over to Roger, and he'll take it away for us. Go ahead, Roger.
All right, thanks, Dan, and welcome fellow traders out there. I want to start off by giving a disclaimer. We are not licensed financial advisors or broker-dealers. We do not tell you when or what to buy or sell. We develop trading software which allows you to conveniently manage multiple trades simultaneously, both on an individual pair basis as well as on overall count equity basis. Our trading systems allow you to set the criteria you want for entering and exiting trades. Do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. We do not guarantee consistent pips or that anyone can make money with no effort. And we are not selling the Holy Grail. Every system can have winning and losing streaks. Money management plays a large role in the results of your trading. For example, lot size, account size, broker leverage, and broker margin call rules all have an effect on results. Also, your take profit and stop loss settings for individual pair trades and for overall account equity have a major impact on results. If you are new to trading and do not understand these items, then we recommend that you go to babypips.com and study there for a while, then come back to us. And we give this disclaimer out for your benefit. And let me just throw in my 2 cents on trading. Between the staff here at AITG, we probably have about 60 to 70 years trading experience. And one of the lessons that I've learned, one of the painful lessons over and over and over again, has been the bug that will get you every time, and that is the greed factor, trying to get too much too quickly and not having enough patience. So we want to stress here that this is not, I don't know how long you guys have been trading, but we want to stress here that trading currencies is very volatile, and if you think it's a get-rich-quick scheme, it will put you in the loss quick. All right, and like I said, patience is also a virtue. So moving right along, some housekeeping rules here during the webinar. We're going to go over some things tonight, and I'm sure you guys are going to have lots of questions. And before you guys see on your control panel here, you should have a little hand symbol. If you would right now, just click and raise your hand, and we'll make sure that you guys see that feature and raise your hand. All right, good, very good. And if you have any questions, all right, please try to hold them to the end. We'll open up the floor at the end for questions and answers. But if it's something that really is pressing right then, just raise your hand, and we'll recognize you and turn your mic on and allow you to express your question. Okay. All right. That being said, I'm going to turn it back over to Dan here, and he's going to give us a brief overview of the dashboard. So take it away, Dan.
Yeah, let's see. I think I have on my screen now. Am I looking at your screen right now, Roger?
Yeah, let me go ahead and give you the screen. Okay. There.
Okay.
And you have control.
And you see my mouse moving, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to do an abbreviated overview of the dashboard. We've been through this a few times, and also the Haas, the Heikinashi Smooth trading system, that is the one that comes with your starter package. We'll touch on that very briefly, just by way of review. And of course, we have detailed videos that you'll want to make sure to watch. Now, the dashboard is an EA, as you recall. It sits on the MT4 platform of your broker. Now, you have to have an MT4 broker to use our systems, and MT4 is, I believe, the most popular platform out there. So you won't have trouble finding a broker that has the MT4 platform. We happen to use Traders Way as our broker. Since we're in the US and we get hardly no leverage with US brokers, we have gone to non-US brokers.
And those first in, first out rules really a killer too with US brokers.
Yeah, that's true. First in, first out rules. Also, the elephant in the living room about the brokers between overseas and US is the leverage.
Mm-hmm.
The leverage. In the US, because of the new laws there, leverage is limited to like 50 to 1 on certain pairs, 30 to 1 on certain pairs, 20 to 1 on certain pairs. In contrast with Traders Way, and I'm not going to go down this rabbit trail, I'm just going to summarize it. With Traders Way, if your account is under $1,000, your leverage is 1,000 to 1. And if your account is between $1,000 and $20,000, your leverage is still 500 to 1. That is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
And one of the questions that we get in that regard is people asking questions about, well, how small can I start out? I don't have a lot of money. I don't want to bet the farm and all this kind of stuff. And of course, we can't tell you exactly what to do or how to handle that, but we can say from what we've seen of other traders that use brokers with this kind of high leverage that we're talking about here, a lot of brokers do use small accounts, $200 or $300, and they trade 0.01 lot.
Yeah,
like an average of 10 cents a pip.
Yeah, when we get into our show and tell phase here shortly, I'll show you an example of that. So you'll see.
Okay. So anyway, people, because they see it like on this screen, you see this is like a $4,000 account, and they think, well, I got to have $4,000 or $5,000 to start this. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you don't. But anyway, so much for that. Okay, just thought I'd let you know that because that question does come up. Mm-hmm. We have 28 pairs on here. Now, most brokers will have more than 28 pairs. They get into a lot of exotic type pairs and pairs like the turkey and things that are not a part of this 28. We take the main 28 pairs, and that's the pairs we can trade on. Your broker needs to have these 28 pairs. I'm not aware of any broker that does not have these 28 pairs. It'll likely have more than that, but you have to have these 28 pairs, and a pair button has to be lit up. You see it's blue. It has to be lit up before it will authorize a trade. And you also have to have a trading system button lit up because that means there's some kind of system on the charts themselves that will cause a trade to take place. So you can click these one at a time manually if you want to get what you want. You might want to get to a family of pairs, or maybe you're looking at charts and you want to pick the pairs that have what you think are good trending behavior for the time being. And so you'll just pick, instead of the 28 pairs, maybe you'll go through and you'll pick 10 or 15 pairs that you think look like they're better trenders than the others. And if your trading system tends to lean toward the trending behavior, then you can try those pairs. And you can do all that with this. Or if you click this 28 button, you light them all up. If you click this button that says clear all pair buttons, that makes them all disappear. So that's pretty easy. You can manually trade from here if you wanted to by hitting a buy button or a sell button. You can close a trade. All those things you can do from here. You have the 28 charts along the bottom, which is, I've always thought that was a very amazing feature. Every one of these charts are already open along the bottom, and you can open them all up and look at them one at a time. You can also open them up by clicking on that pink button beside the pair. That will open it up. There you see the Heikin Ashi Smooth. We've talked about that. You got your breakout lines for the entry. And we have charts period. You can actually click that and change the time period of all the charts. We're on the hourlies, and our demos or the examples we've been showing you have been on hourly charts. This comes up and says 5 minute. Well, you could make that 60 minute. You can make it 4 hours. Whatever you made that, if you click OK down here.
Why don't you go make it a 4 hour?
I can make it.
Why don't you go ahead and change it to 4 hour real quick? So.
Okay, 240 would be a 4 hour chart. Now you notice these charts they all say 1 hour right now. See the H1? They all say 1 hour, and there's 28 of them across there. When I click OK, you notice they all just changed to 4 hour. And by the way, you know, these systems that we've been showing you on the 1 hour, they could be traded on the 4 hour. I mean, right there's the 4 hour breakout. Of course, it's on the wrong color there. But the 4 hours take longer, but they have bigger pips. Just clicking through the 4 hours.
That's where that patient factor comes in, right, Dan?
Right, patience. I'm clicking through some 4 hour charts, just at random here. To take the trade, you have to have if you're going to go short, you got to break below the red line, and you got to have a red Heikin Ashi bar above you right there. So that trade wouldn't authorize till there. But just showing you how you can do it. You could even do it on dailies. And of course, you can change the Heikin Ashi Smooth. Right now, as we've shown you in the past, the settings on that are 2, 8, 2, 12. If you change that 8 and 12 to different numbers, you can make this faster or slower. And as a matter of fact, if you're on a 4 hour chart and you happen to notice that your breakouts are not coinciding as well with these Heikin Ashi collars as you want them to be, you could change those numbers a bit and make it more appropriate for a 4 hour chart.
Yeah, so on the Heikin Ashi numbers there, you decrease your numbers, you speed up the Haas, and if you increase your numbers, you slow it down. And we've thoroughly tested, and 2.8, 2.12 is just right. I'm sure you all heard the story of the 3 bears, right? You know, the one porridge is too hot, the other one's too cold, the middle one is just right. So that 2.8, 2.12 is just right. But feel free to experiment. And I don't mean to take so much thunder away from you, Dan, but as we've seen in our disclaimers, and you'll hear it from us over and over again, especially if you're new to trading, highly recommend you start off in a demo account with this. This is a high performance car, and you need to learn the characteristics of it and the features, and learn how to drive it safely for your own financial benefit.
Yeah, we found this 2.8, 2.12 is particularly good with the 1 hours, and you can look at it at other time frames and see what you think.
Lots of flexibility with this dashboard and these trading trading system.
Now you notice the dashboard itself, I've got it placed on a Euro Turkey chart down here. It has to be placed on a chart that's not one of the 28.
Yep.
Okay.
Non-tradable chart.
And also on this chart, whatever time frame it's on, the dashboard would only take 1 trade per pair per time period that it's on. So this is on a 1 hour chart. So every new hour, it could take another trade if it was eligible. Now, some folks, as we did illustrate on a prior recording, you could set this for a daily, put this on a daily chart. Your other charts might be on a 1 hour. Let me change this back to 1 hour. 60. See, they're on 1 hour now, but we've got the, if I put the dashboard on daily, then each pair would only trade once per day. And some people like that idea, once per day per trade, hit your target and be done.
Yep.
Other people like to give it a chance to, every hour it has a chance to go again.
Multiple times, double dipping, triple dipping.
Now,
hey Dan, let me just throw another one of my idioms in. You know, there's that old saying about, going to the well one too many times,
Right.
where the well dries up and it hurts. So watch
Pretty
out
soon
how
it'll
many times
come
you
to,
go to the well.
right. That's right. Now, on the right side of this dashboard, this is the equity graph. This happens to be a graph of a setup that I did last night. You notice I said 6 p.m. manual start. It turns out I actually did that about 7 p.m. But I had the inputs inside of the dashboard on the timers down here. You got trading session 1, 2, and 3. I had those all set to false. If those timers are all set to false, then you're on it won't trade at all until you turn on the timers. Well, with this little red button up here, if you click that once, it goes away. I click, it says no trading time. Click it again, it comes back, and it's trading session 24/5.
Yep.
So I had planned, I knew I was going to be here, so I said I'm just going to click that manually at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock and let it take off.
Yeah, so we had a question earlier in our email, Dan. Someone asked about that, about setting up trading times. So as Dan just illustrated in the properties there, you could set up, say, well, I'm going to demonstrate that on my show and tell, but I'll continue on here. If you want to say just trade the U.S. session, you can go in there and back into the properties. You want to open up your properties again real quick? And you could, okay, and go down there to any one of those sessions. Session 1, turn it to true, and put in the time there. U.S. session is 08 Eastern time.
And these times are your computer time. That's your local time.
Right, that's your local time there. And then once you then set that to true and put your times in there, your beginning and your ending. Then you click OK. Okay, and then click OK.
Yeah.
And now you notice it says no trading times selected. You leave that alone. Now, when the time comes that you have selected in the properties, it will automatically turn that to green until your trading session will show.
Right.
The way you start trading. And I'll demonstrate that here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I just lost the graph I had on there now.
Yep. Yeah. So what you did, you did a one and done, right? That was a one and done.
That one there, I actually let it run every hour. I had it on hourly, but it did turn out to only take one trade per pair before it hit its target. Now I did take a picture of that. You notice this says snapshot, and a lot of people do this on a daily basis because when you're done with the trades for today, if that's the way you're doing it, you have your graph there. You click snapshot. And then you go up, and well, I don't want to. I've already clicked it earlier. There's nothing there to take.
Well, okay.
But I'm going to show you because I clicked it yesterday or earlier. You go to File, Open Data Folder, MQL4, Files. There's their basket equity 4/2, April 2nd. That was today. I double click that. And here is the picture that it's stored. Now all this is a picture. You can't do anything in here, but this is just a picture. Since I erased it accidentally a while ago, I'm going to look at it here for a minute. So I had, let's see if I can, no, it truncates the bottoms. So this started at about 7 p.m. And remember, this is equity. And I was trading 0.1 lot. And that's approximately $1 a pip, rule of thumb. And you can see that I had the equity lock set. See, this is another input. You can set an input on the dashboard. When it gets to $50, remember, equity is always dollars. If it gets to $50, it would lock in 40 and trail by $10. That's the way I set it. I could have set up to 3 different steps, but I just set the one step. And you notice when it started off trading, and by the way, there's 15 trades that we're taking, 11 shorts and 4 shorts and 11 longs.
Yep.
Yeah. And it started off around 7. It was drawing down a little bit. drawing down. The charts were going down. It popped up a little bit, went on down to like 44, 54. See, it says max equity drawdown, $54. That's only 54 pips. So that's not major. Then it swung up, got up all the way up to, this says the max net equity was 55. It was trailing by 10, $55. It pulled back to 45 and closed, and I got the $45. And I noticed, I looked on the time when that occurred. That was the New York Open.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as New York opened, the thing went into action. They swung up, hit the target, and I was done.
Hey, Dan, let me just interject something here. Another important factor to keep in mind in trading. I used to trade stocks years ago before I got in currencies, and this is not like stock trading. Currency, you know, the market is very volatile. Market exposure could be dangerous. So this is one way of limiting your market exposure. My theory of trading is to be more of a hit and run type of trader. You know, limit my market exposure and to hit a target, lock it in and trail, and then take whatever the market gives me, I'm happy with. As long as that's green, I'm happy. So, you know, some people will look at all this red right here and be a little skittish over that. All right, but you got to remember, patience is a virtue. All right.
Hey, quite oftentimes it'll go straight green. It'll go green first sometimes.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Frequently.
Sometimes you'll get nothing but a sea of green.
Yeah, you never know. And this equity lock, by the way, that I've been talking about, $50 locking at 40. There's another setting here that says stop after 1. I clicked that, it said stop after 1. That means it'll take the profit one time and stop.
Yep.
If I clicked it again, it'd say stop after 2 or stop after 3 or stop after 4 or stop after 5. That's as far as it goes, is 5.
In other words,
It would do it that many times.
Yep.
In other words, it take this profit once and then it'll just start trading again. As soon as the new setup occurred, it would take another trade and keep going. Mm-hmm. The other thing you can do, you have a basket equity take profit and a basket equity stop loss. When you've got trades in place, you could actually click that button and it will put a equity take profit line across the screen, and you can click it and slide it up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise on a stop loss, basket equity stop loss. Now some people wonder, well, where do I want to put the stop loss? Well, I recommended to one person the other day, well, get an idea of what your swings are. Let's say you're trading all 28 in a certain time frame. Maybe you're going all day. Maybe you start at the beginning of the Booker Day. Maybe you start the Tokyo Open. Maybe you start the London Open. Whatever you want to start at. Maybe you like the New York Open. Whatever you start at. Do that on demo with no stops of any kind. And just see what kind of swings you get on this equity. Sometimes these equities will jump up hundreds of pips. But get an idea of what kind of swings you're getting. And then that gives you some rule of thumb of what kind of targets to set.
Yeah, this type of you know, one and done a day type of trading is very profitable, but you need to take a couple of weeks on a demo account to get an idea. Right. You know, and of course, again, the markets there's lots of variables that go into this, but on a baseline there, after about a week or two of doing this, you'll see where your logical stop losses should go.
And some people might say, well, if I'm going to go for $50 targets, what should I have for a stop loss if I'm going to put an equity stop loss? Well, if you put double your target, say if you did, you'd have 100 pip stop loss. Let's just say you chose that. If you did hit the loss, you can make it back with 2 days of profit. It's not like that you killed yourself. All right. So some people look at it that way. That's where they want to set it. Some people like to give it even more room. You know, that's totally up to you. And that's another thing you can ascertain when you let this thing run wide open a few times and just see what kind of extremes that you get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then helps you make your decisions.
So hey, as you guys get your dashboard set up and start experimenting, I mean, you're going to find so many different ways to trade this. It's unbelievable. All the variables that can go into this. And so again, like we said, we recommend going with the demo and finding that comfort zone for you, for your trading tolerance. It's very important to find that tolerance and find that comfort zone. Hey, are you done, Dan? Or do you have
Yeah, I
more?
think that's a very quick overview that we've touched on a few times already in the past. So do you want to show and tell on your side?
I'll take the screen here in a second. Hey, just remember, guys, that that we have plenty of videos on our website that go more in depth. Gene, our master designer,
Chief programmer,
does unbelievable explanations of the different features of the system here. So let me take the screen back from you, Dan, and I will give you my quick show and tell. Let's see here. Go. Oh, all right, let's see what are we looking at here. We're still looking at. Oh, what are we looking at? Let's see. Well, I think I did what you did earlier, Dan. I lost my screen. Let's see. Send it back over here. Hang on a second here. All right.
there we see it now, I think.
No, I'm on two computers here. I got my trading computer I'm trying to get to. All right. And there we go. All right, we'll figure it out later. Okay. This is what I did last night. Some people, London. We all know if you've been trading for a while, you know that London is probably one of the most volatile trading sessions. And so last night I started at the opening of London in my properties here. Let me go to. Now I am trading here. My lot size is 10 cents a pip, right? 0.01. I have my max spread set to 2 pips, and my trading time started 5 minutes after London. Now, the reason why I go 5 minutes after London, I want to make sure that all these candles switched over on the top of the hour. So I give myself a 5-minute buffer to make sure all the candles switched over, which sometimes it might take a minute on some of these pairs. But I also closed 1 hour prior to London closing, 10:59 Central Time. I'm in Central U.S. So at 10:59 and 1 minute prior to 11, I closed my session out.
And on that subject of timing, Roger, real quick, the top left of your screen, you see your local time and broker time right on your dashboard.
Yep. So this automatically picks up my broker time and calculates it and converts it and shows me my my local time here. So that's a nice little convenience we have. Oh, and I just lost my. Well, I think I did take a picture. Go to open data folder. Oh, and EQL files. And yes, I did. All right, what we got going on here?
Well, I know when I got mixed up on the screens, I hit the little orange square with the white arrow in it.
Yeah. All right, there we go. We got that closed. See if it pops up now. Yeah, let me switch that screen. That would be, I think that's it. Yep, there it is. Okay, there we go. So here's the snapshot I took. Again, it started at the 5 minutes after London opened and closed an hour, 1 minute prior to London closing. It started taking trades right off the bat. Total trades were 17. And just want to illustrate here that I started with a $300 account, all right? And I traded 10 cents a pip, had 17 trades. Right here, you can see where it says present trades open, but the max trades in any one session, I had 17 trades open at one time and plenty of margin space. So just to illustrate that you can take, with a broker like Trader's Way, someone who offers high leverages, you can use a small account and use 10 cents a pip and start off small and build it up that way.
Now, you only had $4.50 to draw down.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty amazing right there.
45 pips.
Yep. So yeah, you know, 35 pips in one night. That's okay, I guess. This thing does a lot better. Of course, let me just clarify that. We all know that it all depends on any particular day. Any day, anything can happen. So some days you might have big pips, and some nights you might have small pips, and some nights you might have a loss. This is something that that it just happens. You know, like we said, we're not selling the Holy Grail. And we can't guarantee profits and losses. Well, we provide you with a high performance vehicle and show you how to drive it properly. And the results all depends on how you drive it. All right. So that's my little show and tell there. Let me take the screen back over to my other application here. Oh. There we go. All right. I'm back to my other computer. Hey, do you guys have any questions before we go any further? If you do, raise your hands and we'll turn your mic on. Oh, we got one with Steve Lawrence here.
Lawrence Stephen.
Stephen Lawrence. Hey, Stephen, how you doing tonight?
I'm fine, thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Loud and clear.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Now, I've been a member of the casino group for a while. I have a question. On the screens that you've shown so far, you've had no stop loss actually set on your break-even stop loss. Have you got any settings that actually stop you getting into trouble in those examples?
Yeah, as Dan was showing you, you know, the equity lock. You can also put on the break, the
basket equity stop loss.
Stop loss. You can turn that on too and set that. These run in conjunction. They can run together.
Yes, I know about that. But, in the examples you showed, you didn't have it set.
No, I did not have it set. No. And again, this is all trader's preference. You know.
Okay. But do you have any other settings that stop you getting into trouble?
We have, well, the individual trades have settings also where you can set stops for the individual trades. If you want to pull up a chart, Roger, I don't know if you can open a chart from where you are or not.
I got let me close these wrinkles out real quick here. Yeah, we have to, okay, let me close this.
Sometimes on demo, we'll leave that stop open just out of curiosity, see how far it did go. In reality, certainly on a live account, we would actually have it set.
Mm-hmm. All right. In the Haas indicator, or the Haas trading system, you have also and I think we went over this, it's in our prior videos, but we'll show you again real quickly here. You can turn on your trailing stop loss, and this is in pips though, okay? So this is by pips, not by equity, by dollars. And you also have a stop loss setting you put in here. Turn that on and you adjust your stop loss to whatever your preference is, and away you go.
So that way every trade has an individual stop loss on it.
Right.
Or an individual trail.
And another fail safe to get you out of trouble is, we're using the Haas to get us the breakout in the direction of the Haas, and you can turn on this right here. Use opposite Haas signal exit. Turn that to true, and so when you say you're in going short, when your Haas turns and starts going up and turns color, it will take you out. So there's multiple ways to get you out in the area of a stop loss. Of course,
hey, Roger, while you're on that screen there and he's talking about safety, let's talk just for a second about this input there. It says use, I can't barely read it, accelerator entry filter. Because we had some question about that the other day. Use acceleration entry filter.
Right.
What that does, if you want to add an element of safety, I guess you could call it, it makes you prove the trade more. So instead of just entering, like now he's got it set, if it breaks below that red line there by 2 pips, it'll take the trade.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, if you say true to that accelerated entry filter, it has to not only break that line by 2 pips, but it has to be below a prior low, in this case going short a prior low, which on that screen right there, it would take the trade at 2 pips. Mm-hmm. Right there, yeah.
Right.
But if the price action was such that when it broke that line, there were some other candles that were lower, it would require them to break those before it could take the trade. And right. That gives you some element of acceleration. And what that'll do, that'll prevent you from taking some trades that might otherwise have gone. You don't know, you never know. On the other hand, it could have kept you out of some trades that would have backpedaled on you and gave you some negative results. So that'd be worthy to experiment with, Steve.
Yeah, hey, Steve, and everyone else listening, just keep in mind too, there's so many different ways to trade this. So, and we would be having webinars 24 hours a day for the next month or two just to go through every different scenario. And that's why it gives you the flexibility and the beauty to mold this to your trading style and your trading tolerances. Personally, myself, I don't know if anyone's ever run into a trader that that doesn't use stop losses. There's some traders out there, and they're very successful. I don't use stop losses too often in my personal trading. And am I recommending that for anyone else? Nope, not at all. That's just me. So again, feel free to trade this any way that you see fit. We give you a default settings, but you have the freedom to go on there and change those as you wish and to experiment with this.
And generally, we tend to do them simply rather than more complicated. But you can go into a little bit more nitty gritty, like what I just described there. If you're so inclined. And again, try them on demo. Now, here's another thing about demos, since it's on the subject. You ought to set up 2 MT4 platforms and set up the trades to start at the same time. And on one of the platforms, you set your exit criteria that you want. You want an equity lock trail, you want this, you want that, a stop loss here, stop losses on the pair, stop losses on the equity, on and on and on. Nail it down the way you want to nail it down. On the other platform, you're going to start it at the exact same time, but have no stops on it, and run them both at the same time and compare the results.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That'll tell you a lot.
Excuse me. So did we satisfy your question there, Stephen?
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah.
How long have you been trading, sir?
Probably not long in overall terms. 3 years.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, that's long enough to know. So you have experience there. I'm sure you've been bitten, and I'm sure you've also been rewarded. You know.
Oh yes. The first year you get bitten badly.
Yep. Yep. And you know, that's the beautiful thing about trading is that the only way that I've learned is by the stings of the bite. You know, if you were to tell me not to do something, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it. That's just the nature of the beast. And when I get bit, believe me, I learn my lessons, and I won't make those mistakes again. Now, just to clarify with my style of trading, I love using the equity lock. And so my mentality is that I know, what goes down is going to come up. All right, and what goes up must come down. And I know that when I go into a bunch of trades, I see some setups and I get into some trades, I know there's going to be drawdown. But I have my equity lock set at a point where and see, here's the beauty about the equity locks, both on the trading systems and also on the dashboard, is that you have different target levels. You have target 1, 2, and 3, and all 3 of these lock and trail at each level. So, and you can see right here, we have 20 lock in 18, 25 lock in 15, and then when you hit 30, you trail by 5. You're scrunching up and locking in more profit at the third target there.
Yeah, the more profit you got, the closer the trail.
Exactly. So like conventional trailing stop losses, they lock you as soon as you open the trade. You have that stop loss that will immediately start trailing. Well, my mentality is that you can still close in a loss, but with the way we have it designed here, it won't lock until you get into profit, and then you're going to lock in some profit. So it's kind of like a break-even plus, So that's my mentality. That's my stop, the equity locks. So anyway, but again, feel free to trade. How you see fit. All right, let's go back to. I can find the right. Here we go. All right, what I want to do right now. We had a question, an email. You guys, again, if you have any questions outside the parameters of the webinars, feel free to email, and we will address them on the next webinar. We'll address it to you in the email, and also give you a demonstration if we can at the next upcoming webinar. And that being said, where did my charts go?
And when you email all your questions to info@inteltrade.net.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, I already did that, and I'm getting good responses. Thank you very much.
Well, our aim is to serve you guys as quickly as best we can. We have one of our clients, and I hope he doesn't mind. Jimmy will be listening to this on recording. So, but Jimmy had some questions he came in, and I'll read them real quick and answer and illustrate where needed. First was, should the AITG EA be installed on the time frame that I wish to trade, or does it not matter? Well, that's a question that could be answered both ways. Dan already expressed earlier. Let me put open some charts here. Charts are opening. You can see right here, this illustration here, Jimmy, we have our charts on 1 hour, but we have the dashboard chart on a daily. And with that being said, I go take a trade here. Let's just take a sell. All right. And I just arbitrarily just took a trade here. You can use these buttons here to take a trade, or you can go in and use the Indy. But I took a trade. You can see that X right there. That X is going to stay there until the next daily candle. Or if my dashboard was on an hourly chart, After an hour, the next hourly candle, this X will go away. So I kind of use this in a way where I want to do, say if I want to have an opportunity to get one trade per pair per day. So I would turn my TS on, have all the pairs turned on, and I would have my dashboard on a daily chart. So as these filter in and take qualified trades, and when they close, they will not take another one until the next day. All right, that's one of many, many different strategies. Or you can just put it on, have everything on an hour. So to answer your question, Jimmy, it's totally up to you on your trading style. You can have it on. It doesn't matter, or you can use that the dashboard time frame to your advantage as far as only taking one and done a day or one trade every 4 hours, or etc. All right, the next question. What is the purpose of the Renko Builder? Where do we apply it to? The videos did not tell much about how to apply the ISDIS indicator. All right, what Gene has done, he's built in, he pre-designed the Renko builders, and let me just demonstrate real quickly here on how easy it is to build. Now, Steve, you're familiar with the Renkos, right? Yes. Okay.
Tried a lot. I've traded some with Renko.
Yeah, Renkos is they're tricky, but
yeah, they are tricky.
Yep, but let me show you real quickly how to build Renkos, how quickly and easy it is. Close all these charts. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so I have all 28 lit up, all in blue, and in my setup here, these are all that comes with the starter package. In your template folder, you should have a Renko chart builder and a Renko charts. All right,
yep.
And we'll go over here to the navigator, and in that navigator, in your Indy, you should have put in an AITG Renko Builder version 1. Okay, that's all you need. Put it in there with those templates. You turn on your all your blue pairs. You hit all 28 or whatever pairs you want. You don't have to hit all 28. You can select whatever pairs you want to trade, and you hit that Build Renkos button right there. And within about 10-15 seconds, you have, okay, maybe 25, 30 seconds. Oh, there we go. You have 28. Actually, you have your 1 minute charts and your 2 minute charts.
Now, if you've done much work with Renko, Steve, you know that is a flat out miracle.
Yeah.
Have 28 Renko charts open up like that in 15 seconds.
In MT4 it is.
Oh, yeah. It's a pain. Without this right here, it's a pain to do Renkos. And so if you want to look at your actual your 2 minute charts that the trading system's on, you click the black button here, and if you want to look at your 1 minute charts for whatever reason, you don't really need to, but you click down. Let me go back. You change that from black to pink. You click on the pink button, whatever pair, and it brings you to the 1 minute chart. All right, and now let me just give you a disclaimer on the Renkos. Gene put this in here for future use. At the present time, we are working on some trading systems that will work with the Renkos, but right now we don't. So I just wanted to, this question came up, and I just wanted to give Jimmy and anyone else interested in the Renkos a quick demonstration on how easy it is to make Renko charts.
And real quickly, Roger, just in case there's somebody here that really doesn't know what Renkos are, all it does is divide the price into fixed number of pips per bar. All those bars that you saw in there that he had on the screen, right, they were default. They were 10 pips each. Every bar is the same number of pips.
Well, right. That all depends. You can change. You can go into your 1 minute chart. I don't want to go too down the rabbit hole.
You can change it, but I'm just saying.
But yeah, in theory, on a time chart, it's based on, your candles are based on time, hour, 4 hour, daily, etc. With Renkos, it's based on pips.
They're not time. There's no such thing as time charts.
No time here. Each one of these bars is 10 pips. So when this bar fills up 10 pips, it goes over and creates the next, it starts working on the next Renko bar, and so on. Or if it starts going in reverse, etc. So again, it's time-based versus volume-based.
Pip-based, right. A lot of traders like them because they like the formations of the bars for their setups.
Yep. And as we develop these Renko trading systems, we'll have more training on them and demonstrations and stuff. But Renkos are fun, but they are also dangerous. So you really need to know how to read them and apply them properly. Okay, final question. Oh wait, let's see, make sure I answered all the questions to your. Yeah, I think I did. All right, how should I set the EA to trade automatically based on the Haas trading system? Well, this goes right back to what we said earlier. It's trader's preference. Let me close these Renkos out, and we'll go back and open up time charts. All right, so Jimmy wants to know how should I set the EA to trade automatically based on the Haas. The dashboard, it's pretty much set for you, Jimmy, except for what we expressed earlier. You could pick your pairs. Let's turn off all these. Let's say you wanted to trade London like I did last night, and so you pick just highlight all the pairs all the euro and the pound pairs, and those are what you want to trade for during that session there. So as these become when you're trading, oh, well, just take another trade. So let's just say we're in London right now. We'll just imagine that this is London market just opened, and so our trading time session opened up, and the only pairs are going to trade are the ones that we have highlighted here. As the Haas becomes the Haas and the breakout lines come into alignment here. And again, you got to remember too that these breakout lines are constantly, each candle, they're being updated. Whenever you get a newer high or a newer low. All right. So in this downward trend right here, you could have had there was one trade here, probably another breakout line here, another one here. So you probably had 3-4 good trades here. Now, I don't know if let me just try to give you a little story about cooking. I don't know if any of you guys cook. I cook sometimes. But if I was to put something on the stove, turn it on, and walk away, come back an hour later, and didn't check it at all, what are the odds that my food I was cooking is going to be overdone? Especially if it was something that only needed to be cooked for 15-20 minutes. Point is even though this is automated, you still want to have eyes on. All right, you still want to make sure that the setup that the automation is telling you fits your tolerance and your trading style, because you always have the option to go in here and, oh, I don't like that pair, I'm going to turn that off, I'm not going to take that. Okay, so I hope Jimmy, I hope I answered your questions thoroughly enough. If not, fire them back again. No, we'll redo it. All right, at this time, guys, I'd like to open up the floor and open up your mics here to any other questions or any things that we have not covered. So
raise your hand and we'll turn your mic on.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and turn them all on. There's only four people here tonight, and that's fine.
Go ahead.
Oh,
No questions for me.
All right, no questions for Stephen. All right, how about Michael? You have any questions? And Brent, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, hey, can you just let us know where you guys are located?
I live
Australia.
in San Diego, California.
Oh, cool. And Lawrence, where are you located? Or Stephen, I'm sorry.
Lawrence is the first name, but Australia.
Awesome.
Place called Ballarat near Melbourne.
Okay, I've spent 26 years in the Navy. I've been down to Australia quite a few times. Love it down there. And Michael,
I'm currently in the Navy right now.
all right, what are you doing in the Navy?
I'm fire controlman on a destroyer right now.
Awesome. Hey, is the Essex still there in San Diego?
Oh yeah.
That was my last boat. I was the ship's maintenance officer there before I.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Awesome. How long you been in?
About 3 years now.
Cool. Well, I did 26, man. So it's a nice retirement. So stick it out. Of course, if you make big money trading, you can do an early retirement, right?
That's the goal.
How about you, Michael? Where are you from? I don't think Michael has a mic. I think he has a question.
Oh, I see. So let me click the question.
Their
Question
Oh,
says-
okay, he's in Denver.
He's from Denver.
All right. Well, I'd like to welcome you guys. And again, listen, I just want to throw this out. And the other guy left. I'm sorry you did, but we have it advertised on our website in certain areas. But we also offer one-on-one, by appointment only webinars. So if you guys have any issues getting started or you want some one-on-one training,
One-on-one tutoring.
one-on-one tutoring, just send us an email and we'll make an appointment with you and we'll open up a special webinar just for you or just for a couple of people. So if you want to take advantage of that, please do. We're here for you. All right, Dan, do you have anything else we need to put out?
Well, the only thing I'll mention here in closing, as we're getting up to the last 2 or 3 minutes, again, I want to mention that our website is inteltrade.net. Any questions or communication you want to make with us, do it at info@inteltrade.net. And I also want to mention, how many of you are familiar with Forex Factory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, if you go into the Forex Factory forums and under the commercial section, you'll find us in there. You can search for stress-free trading, stress-free automated trading. And we have
I got it on my screen.
cool.
Screen. Oh, good.
You can scroll down there. You'll see stuff that's on our website. You also see some more stuff. We're developing new things right now. So right now, we're pretty excited about getting this started, and a lot of things on the horizon that we're working on now. And the introduction, our introductory pricing and everything on this is pretty amazing. You know, if you've looked at other systems, other software, the prices just goes through the roof. And we're trying to make this reachable by anybody. And we have some exciting new things that are getting ready to be introduced, and we're going to have some promotion associated with that for people that might want to get into the dashboard and everything now, and have a discount or even a freebie on the future trading systems that we're working on now. But I invite you to also look at the Forex Factory information, as well as our website.
So Dan, as you're saying, we promo and we put a lot of stuff out at Forex Factory, our commercial forum there. So check us out there. And also, I want to invite you guys to, as you get trading with our product and our systems, we would like to see your results. Good and bad. And because we learn from the bad things we do in life too, right? Amen.
That's true.
We didn't make mistakes.
We learn more from the bad things.
We wouldn't learn if we didn't make mistakes. But we also want to see your achievements too. So if you don't have to, but if you want to share, come share at our forum there at Forex Factory. Just another avenue there to communicate.
And as you start getting more and more familiar with using the material and having success with the material, I know if you're like most of us, you have other friends that are also involved in Forex trading, you know, bring them on board.
Definitely.
Okay.
All right. So you guys got any closing comments before we close for the night?
Well, thank you for everything you guys do. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you betcha. We are here for you guys, man. All right, that's it. We will say goodnight, and we'll
We're
see
at
you
the
guys.
1 hour point. We did pretty good. We got it in 1 hour.
That's right. Okay.
Well done.
I'm going to click you guys off one at a time now. You guys have a good night now, okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay.
You too.
All right,
Bye all.
Thank you very much.
okay.